Take it away whenever you're ready.
Coach, I guess I'll just start off. Who impressed you the most during spring ball out of your group?
Out of my group, obviously Miles Murphy, Justin Mascoll, KJ Henry, Kevin Swint is another guy that we moved in that position, and he did a great job, man. I'm excited to see Kevin's progression moving forward.
And how about the new guys? Who impressed you most out of the new
Cade Denhoff is a young man that's we thought would be a developmental guy, but he came in and did some good things. And looking forward to see his progression starting fall camp.
Justin Foster's return.
Is KJ healthy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's healthy.
Ask you about the return of Justin Foster and what that means to this football team, just as a guy in the room,
Yeah.
experience-wise, and what he brings to the table as far as ability to run and being the strength
Yeah.
that he has.
Man, I was excited when I heard he was coming back. Obviously, before he was out, he had a great year. Proven leader, tough guy. Everyone loves Justin Foster. He's a guy that I can trust, and he's already taking the leadership role to get the young guys and spending time with them, working on different things that they need to get ready for. And just, his ability, man, to play against the run. Strong at point of attack, just a physical player, man. So I'm excited to have him back.
Xavier Thomas, I think on social media, he's down to 265. Is that a weight that you're pleased with right now going into the fall?
Oh, absolutely. I saw X the other day, and I was so excited to see him and to see how his body is transformed. I just had to go hug him. Like, man, this is awesome. He's had a great summer. He's working his tail off. He's kind of been under the weed, and that's what I like, And I'm excited to see the focus that we need, and I'm excited to see X get out there and play.
Speaking of Xavier, how special can he and Xavier Thomas be?
Xavier has always been a special player, and just allowing him to do what he do, man, and he's going to be great. And I'm excited. Like I said, I'm excited to see him play. There's no issues or anything like that. Man, he's been focused, dialed in, focused on where he needs to be, and when we can get that version of Xavier Thomas, man, it's going to be awesome.
How well has Justin Mascoll improved over the year? I mean, he had a great year last year.
Right.
Obviously, keeps progressing. What is your limit, your ceiling for him? What do you think his ceiling can be?
Oh, I mean, Justin Mascoll is one of my favorites. He's a tough, physical kid. Did a great job last year. Actually started a lot of games. And now it's just different progressions that we got to get to. But he's done that. No off the field issues or anything like that. He's just been dialed in, trying to continue to focus in on our efforts and our techniques and fundamentals and our eye discipline, all those things. But I see Justin Mascoll, man, just really taking off, having an awesome year, great year, and on the little things, doing the little things right. And, I'm excited to see his progression as well.
A different kind of end, though, compared to X and compared to Miles.
Yeah.
I mean, you got those guys, if you bring an Indy or Rabbit package, those two guys would be in, and he would come out.
Yeah.
But what is, again, like if I asked a question about Justin, what is his strong suit? Is it, again, holding that edge?
Yeah.
Is it being setting the edge?
Yeah, and that's what he's really good at, setting the edge. He's a physical player. I don't want to categorize and put him in, he's just a run defender. He can rush the passer as well. That's where we got to get better in the pass rush with him. But physicality, man, just coming out his hips on contact. I mean, that's what you want. He does it better than anyone. And just need to get more consistent. And I'm excited to see him.
What's the biggest fundamental that you teach these guys that you think is the one key factor to being a successful defensive end?
Just we got to be physical at point of attack. Good hands, good hand placement. All right, you come out of your hips, man, just be explosive. Don't catch. Make sure I got my eyes in the right spot. So we talk about hands, eyes, and feet. We did a lot of that this off season, making sure our guys got the eyes in the right spot, our hand placement in the right spot, and not crossing over, just keeping a good base. And that's what we focused in on this spring. That's going to be the focus going into the fall. And our guys are bought into it. They've seen it on tape. Now it's just a matter of going out and getting it done.
I know you guys are busy getting ready for camp and the season coming up, but have you taken a second just to think about how special this line could be this season?
Oh yeah. We hear it often that we got a great group. You know, Coach Sweeney said we got 7 starters back on D-line, and so to me, that's just the focus on. Okay, there's a high expectation at that group, and we got to live up to that expectation. You can't try to go out and do something that you're not comfortable in doing. So we gotta focus in on the little things and just be who we are.
What about the luxury of having that group, though? Tyler Davis, Bresee, a guy like Trey Williams can come in and be a 2-man guy.
Oh, no
can
question.
take a double team up and free up your ends.
Right.
I mean, that's your defensive end's best friend.
Right. No question.
If you got a guy who can take a double team up right beside him, he's one-on-one.
Yeah. You know, we have to do. Coach Bates and I got to do a good job of making sure our guys buy into what we want to get done. We do have a luxury of some guys that played a lot of football, and now it's just a matter of let's utilize the depth that we have, and get guys to play fast, play free, don't think, and go out and execute and be productive.
I know he hasn't been here long, but any early returns on Zaire
Patterson. Oh yeah. So I'm excited about Zaire. Athletic, DN, explosive. Like you say, hadn't been here long, and so I look forward to seeing just getting him out on the field, being able to touch him and take him through different techniques and fundamentals and things like that. But I'm excited about the upside of Zaire Patterson.
Has Brian shown any improvement in his leadership skills? He's kind of going to be that guy on the defensive line now.
Brian Bresee.
Yeah. Has he shown any leadership characteristics this spring?
Oh yeah. Brian is definitely a leader of our defense, and guys respond well to his leadership. We got a bunch of leaders on our defense, on our defensive line. And, our job as coaches is try to empower those guys to utilize their strengths, and that's one of his strengths.
To tag on to that, what about you got different personalities now? You've got like KJ, who's a very outgoing guy, who's going to be out there. And you got an XT who'll sit off to the side and just quietly do his thing, and Justin will quietly do his thing and lead by example.
Right.
How do you juggle those guys and you get what you want out of those guys, getting to push the right way, the right?
It goes back to relationships. You got to get to know your guys, right? You got to know, what button to push, and there's a respect factor that's there as well. They respect me as a coach. I respect them as players, and how you communicate with these guys. And I don't mind a Justin Mascoll being quiet, but I know the button to push to get him to play the way he needs to play. A Miles Murphy. I knew recruiting Miles. He was a quiet guy. But, man, when you get between that line and he plays, and there's a button to push on Miles as well, and that's as coaches, that's our job, to get to know how to get our guys to play at a high level. KJ Heron, very outspoken. Justin Foster, quiet guy, but he's a leader. And I love them both. There's a happy medium in both of them, and I like that.
The yin to the yang.
Yeah, exactly.
How does Miles take that next step?
How does Miles take the next step? So we don't want to have there's a lot of things that happened during last year. He's a freshman last year. He's no longer a freshman. He played a lot of football. Miles got to get better at certain things, the pass rush, the run game, and he's able to do that. He looks great. I saw him the other day, man. He's in great shape, and I expect Miles Murphy to just take off and be the Miles Murphy that we expect him to be.
Let me ask you, how far into the season do you think we start getting the Power Rangers 2.0 comparisons?
I don't know, man. That's a good question. They got to get permission from those guys first to be able to do that.
Have they come up with any names yet? Have they been talking in the film room or anything?
I hadn't heard anything yet, man. We'll see. To be continued.
Going back to when you came on the staff, I think you came on right at the time that we had with 98 the defensive end that year.
You're talking about Dodd?
Yeah, Dodd.
Yeah, I got
come
here
out of
15.
Riverside. You got here 15, right when he was leaving.
Yeah.
So, talk about a guy like that was totally not looked at in high school, and you guys developed him and became that guy.
Right.
Who's that guy now? Who's Dodd in your building right now? Is that Mascoll?
Mascoll could very well be the Dodd, although Mascoll has all the ability, man. You know, he could be that dog guy. And I expect Mascoll. You know, I try not to compare guys. I didn't coach God, but Mascoll has the ability. He could rush the pass.
Kevin just that senior year just took a leap, and it just like the lights came on, and he got a little extra step, he got a little extra juice in his step. It just all came together for him in that 1 year.
And you're right, and it very well could be Justin Mascoll. And I expect Mascoll to take the next step. You know, I expect him to be that guy that you can count on every down. He doesn't have to come off the field on third down. He can be that every down guy.
Because Kevin wasn't even looked at as an NFL guy until like third of the way through the season, his senior year, and then all of a sudden, you know, he hit the first round projections.
Awesome year.
Yeah.
I do expect that from him.
Again, people don't realize that college athletes have to, I say it, develop.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally, all that.
This is a developmental game.
Developmental game, yeah.
Yes.
You know, they're not going to develop. They're not walking in here with all the experience they need.
That's right.
So these guys, you know, it's got to be hard to sit there and you know, you got the map and the game plan for them to get where they want to be.
Right.
But to get them to buy into it, you know,
Right.
like I said, to be all in.
Right.
You know, and people say that all the time loosely, but it's just like you said, you have to know your players.
Yeah.
And you have to be on a personal level with them and understand them, and to be able to turn that key on and make them go.
Right.
How do you motivate them outside of that? Like, you know, do you go up to like him and go, look, hey man, do you remember Kevin Dodd? Show him film of Kevin Dodd.
Right.
Say, hey, you see what this guy did? That could be you. I mean,
Yeah.
is that kind of stuff?
I think
you
that's
do?
what we've done in the past, is to show our guys who's done it before.
Right.
And so, like, look, if you continue to work, or you can be a Kevin Dodd, you can be a Cleveland Farrell, you can be whoever. You just got to put work in, and understanding that that's next level. And you know, our guys, they take ownership of that. I take it as a coach, they take it as a player, and they want to be great. Our guys don't play just to go out there and play. They want to be great at it, and they're constantly trying to get better at their positions. Because if you're not thinking next level, you know, most of the guys that come to college football, they want to play NFL.
But
Right?
we always talk about you can't teach speed.
Right.
You can't teach certain God-given talents.
Right.
So some guys going to have that going against them.
Yeah.
You know, how do you coach past that?
Well, then you got to be strong in your fundamentals and your technique, right? Because guys are going to be bigger, stronger, faster. I just think about myself as a player. When I got to the league, you know, the older I got, I knew that my technique had to be flawless. You know, and that's the thing that, you know, our guys got to remind. I have to remind my guys. And the guys got to know that, man, you got to be flawless in your techniques, your fundamentals, and then you got to know how to study film and do all those little things.
The last 20 or so days since the NLI has come out, how has coaching changed? It's changed a lot for the players. You know, they can make money off their name now. But how has it changed for you? I guess coaching them. I'm not coaching them, but has there been any different?
Coaching our players?
Just off the field. How do you approach them about the NLI stuff?
I really don't. You know, I mean, I don't
I
coach
was just
them about.
wondering
No,
if you had any conversations with them about that.
I have not. No, I have not.
When it comes to Xavier, obviously last year, what was that like seeing him kind of go through his health issues? And, you know, is he fully ready to go, or are there any lingering things coming into the season?
We definitely missed Xavier last year, and he's full go. He looks great. He's been working out all summer. I saw him last week in the photo shoot. In this uniform, he looked amazing. I was telling somebody earlier, I had to go hug him. I was excited to see that you know, my old guy is back. And you know, he's been focused, he's been dialed in, and that's the Xavier Thomas I like to see.
Last year, when he graduated and all that flux took place, that he didn't know what he was going to do and all that, did you have any input? Talk to him and his family at all? Did they come to you? Did they just kind of like go back and make that decision on their own to come back?
I think it was a decision made on their own. You know, my door is always open for those guys. They know if they ever have a question or anything, I'm asking, you know, answer anything any way I can. But I think a decision is all based on what he wants to do.
What do you make of his career holistically?
You know, it's been some ups and downs, obviously, but you know, it's one that, you know, there's been a lot of upside, a lot of things that's been positive, and he's had some things that obviously is going against him, and I've always felt like if we can get XT focused in on just doing the little things and not worry about the outside world, the sky's the limit for him. And I love that kid. I've always been a fan of his. Now there are days where I get so upset with him. It's like these are like my kids.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But I've been there with X all the way through, and I'm excited to see the opportunity for him to go out and play, and not worry about any distractions. Just play football, right? Enjoy your last ride here, right? Enjoy the journey, embrace your time with your teammates and your family, and that's what I want to see from him this year.
What does that look like in terms? Is that something that just takes more time as he grows up a little bit? When you say focus on the little things, what does that look like for him?
He's grown up a lot. He has, and again, what that looks like to me is, hey, hang out in this facility, be around your teammates. Let's spend more time in the film room. All right, let's come over to my house. Let's hang out together. Just build on that, and that's what it looks like. How you doing?
Is there a little bit of, the emotion or kind of a little bit of sentimental feelings toward this season just because of all the ups and downs that have happened before?
For me or for him?
For both of you.
Well, yeah. I think for me, it's I've been with these guys since their freshman year. When I think about X, you think about KJ, Justin Foster, all those guys. I got Regan Upshaw. They all are. This is their last year, and I just want to make sure that I do my part to make sure that we play and execute the way we need on that last go around. But the emotion is, I'm here with you. You're not by yourself. We want to go out and have a great year. We want to do the things that control what we can control defensively, and then you guys got to put the work in, and let's go out and have fun doing it.
Talk about Regan. It's a guy that was not expected to be that guy.
Yeah.
But he's one of those guys you can put in there, and he leads by example.
Yeah.
And really is a stopgap measure for you.
Right.
You get a lot of production out of that guy.
I love Regan Upshaw. He came in as a walk-on. He's earned a scholarship. He's a physical guy. Last year it was just getting to trust Regan. I'm a huge. I believe in trust, man. I'm a huge guy on trust.
It's first thing, first block on the foundation.
I got to make sure that I can trust in you to go out and do what you need to do. And Regan is bought into that, and he wants to go out and he wants to contribute, and he will. And I'm looking forward to seeing him.
I covered both Justin and XT in recruiting in high school, and spent a lot of time with him. You hear about us recruiting analysts. We talk about it right all the time. The de-recruitment of a player when they get to college.
Yeah.
With Justin, it wasn't a problem.
Right.
He was already laid back and just kind of in a low-key mode. But with XT, I saw it coming out of Florence. He kind of had his way with that football team. He wasn't really coached. You know what I'm talking about.
Right.
He kind of. I watched him at times. I sat there and watched 3 plays and go, wow. And the 2 other plays, I go, hey, what's he doing?
Yeah.
And there was no one there to, they didn't want to coach him.
Right.
They thought if they coached him, they would, perturb him, get in his way.
Right.
They were scared to approach him and go, hey, you're screwing up.
Right.
Even though you're the best player on the team, you're messing up.
Right.
I mean, how do you de-recruit a guy?
Well,
and sometimes it takes 3 or 4 years, like you said, to learn and grow up and mature.
Well, I think there's a relationship. I said it earlier. There's a relationship that's been built, right? That you have to get to know your player. He has to get to know you, and there's a trust factor that's built, right? And so if I'm getting on X about a technique or something, it's not personal.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing. He needs to know, like, hey, Coach Ski is not attacking me personally.
People skills.
Yeah, man. He's attacking my performance or what I'm doing right or wrong. And I think that's the key.
And in high school, the coaches just don't have that ability to soak into that,
I'm not,
you got developing kids too. Their kids
absolutely.
are developing.
And I'm not. I just try to do. I try to coach like my coaches coach me. Right. Those are things that I remember.
Yeah.
And he's a human. He's a man.
Yeah.
So I need to talk to him, address him, and respect him as a young man. And that's what I try to do.
I know you've probably already been asked this, so I apologize, but can you walk me through just the moment Justin Foster came to you and said, all right, I want to try this again?
Oh, man. So Coach Sweeney told us.
He did, okay.
Coach Sweeney told me and Coach Venables, and he said, you guys, just want to let you know Justin Foster's coming back. And everybody threw their hands. I said, oh, here we go. Just excited, man, because Justin Foster's a guy that I can call about anything and ask about anything. Justin and I got a very unique relationship, and he's a guy that I trust.
Is he a coach in a helmet?
I don't.
One of those guys you look at, he gets guys.
Oh, I can talk to Justin and say, hey man, I need for you to do this for me. I need you to grab these players. I need you to do certain things, and he would do that, and I won't have any issues with it. So, he's always been that rock for me, always. And to have that guy back, it means a lot to me and to our defensive ends.
Just physically, what is? I know you
His
guys
presence.
didn't really see him this summer, but
He looks amazing.
He does.
Yeah, he looks great. He's in shape. He's doing all the running. Has no setbacks. He's ready to go. I saw him this morning working out. He was leading the group, going into the gym, and so that's what I expect from him.
With XT and Justin coming back, that had to make you my job just got a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But
Well, I don't ever say my job has gotten easier. I do know that
that experience, though.
I got some experienced guys, and they're going to lead the way, right? They're going to lead the way, and that's what you want. You want experienced guys that you can trust, and I have that in my group.
In this day and age, kids transferring out and leaving, these guys are coming back. That's just a very, very rare oddity.
Just tell you about the culture of Clemson and how guys want to be here, and I'm excited, man. I got to think about Kevin Swint. I think about Greg Williams. Right.
Talk about those two guys real quick. Those two guys you've had to change over from a different position.
Yeah.
Greg had to put some weight on, go over a knee injury, and,
That's right.
and Kevin seems to be a guy that can really can do something to put some weight on him.
Yeah, I love Kevin Swint, man. We made that transition this spring, and I was excited. I was excited about this. This is a football player. He's a physical player, loves the game, works hard at it. He's doing all the things that he needs to do to get prepared for this fall. And I saw enough this spring, and like, okay, here's a guy, right? And so now he's added weight. He looks amazing. I saw him this morning, and I'm just ready to get him in fall camp just to see the continued progression with him. And then Greg Williams is another guy. Coach Sweeney talks about, you got to water the bamboo, right? And Greg Williams is that guy.
He's that guy.
You know what I mean? He's a guy that came as a linebacker. He's long. He's physical. He can run. He had a great spring, and so I'm looking forward to seeing him progress and transition to the next level.
He never had a chance to really settle in the linebacker before he got he came in with the injury.
Yeah.
And it just kind of like sat off to the side, and then you just moved him over to the end.
Yeah, he's done a good job, man. He really has. He's learned the defense. He's learned how to play defensive end, and I love that. I love that about him.
What's the biggest roadblock for those two guys? Body type? Being able to physically get in there and take on those tackles?
Well, I think we talk about Regan Upshaw. There was a defensive end that used to play for Duke about a year or two ago. He's the same body type as Regan Upshaw. Right?
The league.
Yeah. And that kid could play. So I don't put a whole lot of emphasis on body type. I know
You got rarities, but I mean, you go
but I know
man to
Regan
man.
Upshaw is a physical kid. He can go out there and he can play, right? And Greg is the same way. He's long, explosive. Greg can go out and play as well. And so I believe both of those guys can play when given the opportunity.
Will Kevin still rep at all at linebacker, or is he fully?
No, ma'am. He is
100%
fully
now?
100% defensive end. Yeah.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate
Hey,
it.
man. Appreciate you guys.
Just real quick,
Yeah.
at his best, Justin Foster, because we haven't seen him in 2 years, but I think we all thought he'd be the best defensive end on the roster last year. What is his ceiling when he's fully healthy?
He's fully healthy, man. His ceiling is up there. He did a great job in pass rush. He's a physical pass rusher, speed to power guy, right? Working on his techniques in the pass rush. I thought his last game against LSU in the national championship game, unbelievable. He played physical in the run game, did an unbelievable job rushing the quarterback, and so that's the level that I expect from him. You know, even Louisville 2 years ago, he was killing. He had an awesome time. He did everything he needed to do from a DN standpoint. So you think about Foster. He came here as a linebacker. Well, he played linebacker in high school. We recruited him as a defensive end, but he played linebacker. He was in a 2-point stance, so he came in learning how to play DN, and just to see his development each and every year has been amazing. And I'm excited, man. You know, here's the thing. You know, he didn't play at all last year, so he got his body a chance to rest a little bit, and he'll be a younger version of Justin Foster starting up in fall. And I'm looking forward to seeing it.
How much of, because when we talked to Venables last year, he said we had to get a little creative in manufacturing pressure. How much of a difference in pass rush can one guy like that make?
It's a good question. Not really sure if it's just one guy. I don't think it can make that big of a difference, but I think collectively, just rushing as a unit, we got to get better at that, and we have, because we put more emphasis in being a unit rusher than opposed to like one guy, like, oh, I got to go make the sack.
Sure.
There's some precision in that, in how you rush the quarterback, and all four guys working together. I mean, it's going to be a beautiful thing when that happens.
Sure.
The inside guy getting pressure, flushing those guys to the defensive ends. The defensive ends understanding where the pressure's coming from. If there's a blitz coming from left or right side, you got to know you can't counter inside. You got to stay outside contained. So that, again, there's precision in the pass rush.
Sure.
And we worked on that this spring, and we got better. And we're going to continue to work on it in the fall camp.
Sure.
And look forward to having an awesome year this year.
Yeah. Awesome. You have a good summer?
I did.
Go anywhere cool?
I relaxed a little bit.
Yeah.